TheForest.com.
Go to the East Coast.
We still going.
Eastern Conference final. The Eastern Conference standings as it is right now at the bottom at number 8 is the Brooklyn Nets. Sean, I'm gonna let you kill us first. Brooklyn Nets, pretender or contender?
My gut is telling me pretender, regardless of who they have. But then again, other parts of me are like contender because you got KD, you got Kyrie. Mask mandate is about to be lifted in New York, so he's about to be able to play home games. And in the playoffs, we already know they're gonna be dangerous. KD always do his thing. But reason why I'm saying pretender, one of them gonna get hurt again. They're not gonna be around after that. One of them go get hurt again. They are both just super injury prone. I really feel it happening. That's why I had to go with the way I did.
Okay. Elijah, what you got on this? Contender or pretender? I'm at the Brooklyn Nets.
You want this in New Jersey?
Pretenders. Right now.
Ooh,
I have my pretenders. We haven't seen what Ben Simmons look like. And like Sean said, you can't place a lot of stock in KD and Kyrie because of the injuries. That's about it. But that's another team I want to see actually do well because it's sad that they aren't as much talent as they keep bringing in. KD keeps getting hurt, then Kyrie gets hurt, or he can't play for whatever fucking reason. That motherfucker is liable to pull a damn Derrick Rose, step away with a fucking box fade and come back with some dreads. You don't know what the fuck Kyrie's going to do. So it's just like you can't place a lot of stock in that shit.
The man was going through it.
And we said that when Shaq was on this. Derrick Rose went away, came back with the dreads, man. He was off so long. God damn. That man had a ball fade, came back with dreads.
That shit's crazy.
Man, but Frankie, what do you think about Brooklyn?
If they stay healthy, they could be a contender. But that's a big if. And I know Sean's not worried about Ben Simmons, but I think Ben Simmons will contribute in some form, whether it's defense and I don't know what you're looking for the boogeyman back there or something. You looking for Baba Yaga back there, Sean? What are you looking for? Ben Simmons ain't jumping through that door at you, I promise.
I felt the freaking ground move, bro. So I was like, what's behind me?
Baba Yaga, bro. She jumping out of that closet.
Probably is.
But now, if they could stay healthy, if they could just get on the court together for 10 games to see what they look like, I would be genuinely curious if they could be good. Because they ran the Sixers off the court the other night, but I don't know. I'm just so torn.
Everybody keeps saying Ben Simmons, and the reason why I hate the situation so much is for the past, couple years, Philly has had what they needed. And Joel Embiid has been playing out of this world, still ain't got an MVP somehow.
He gonna get MVP this year.
He opens the floor up so much. And when you have Seth and them boys, they open the floor up so much. I done watched this man not even try, straight up pull a Roy Hibbert in the playoffs with wide open lanes, not driving to the basket. So I'm like, okay, if everyone sold on this man, what was that for a whole season before he got traded? Was that just you gave up and didn't want to play? Because you could have just took the season off. So now everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's so good. But my last resulting image is this dude literally quitting on his team for every game of a playoff series.
Definitely. Next up is the Toronto Raptors. Sean, you was last this time. I'm gonna let you go first. Toronto Raptors, pretender or contender?
Pretender.
Yeah.
They 7 right now. They so for what they have. They're okay for what they got. But I don't see them making any noise to the top seeds.
I can see Charlotte moving up to Brooklyn and Charlotte moving up and Toronto moving out.
No, I don't think so.
But go ahead, Frankie. You got the court.
I do like the Raptors. I think they're a pretender. I like what they built though. I like the talent. Gary Trent Jr. is carrying the team. Fred VanVleet's been dope. So, they're 36-30. I mean, they've been pretty consistent. They've beaten some good teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely, like Sean said, they're not going to touch the top teams, but they're
Now,
yeah, they can make noise with it. They'll get a game or two in the playoffs. But
we
that's
got
it.
the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sean, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start this off. Cleveland Cavalier, pretender or contender for the land?
I'm gonna say contender. Like, I don't see them dropping anywhere. I do think, they're 6 right now. I think they could maybe move up a little bit. I don't see them dropping down or moving out of the playoffs. But I'm saying contender based on one thing. I like the way all the young dudes is playing. I wasn't a big fan of Sexton. He didn't move the ball at times. But, Garland, Mobley, other dude, Jared Allen, and just a whole company. It's like a team. What you want to see a team be, they are that. Like, they move the ball well, everything works. But what I say contender on is based on if Kevin Love is going to be featured in the playoffs more. Because I feel like he's the one that gets you over the hump, like in the games that you're going to have to go through, grind out games. And he's been there. He knows what it takes for the young group of guys.
I also, going off what you said, I also don't think we've seen Karis LeVert at his best yet. When you plug him in and Okoro, because Okoro is playing out of his mind right now. Okoro is a game changer, man. That his defense been deadly. Then you got DG, PG1. This Cavs team can be deadly. I say contender, but they got to stay healthy. Everybody has to stay healthy. Frankie?
We are the 6th seed, correct?
Yes, sir.
There are 5 teams in front of us, and the 3 seed, I do believe, is the Chicago Bulls. I think
3 seed is Philly.
Philadelphia.
I can see y'all moving up to 4. I think now they're better than, like, not record wise. I think the Cavs will be able to take Boston and Chicago with the way they're playing right now.
Right.
So the only teams I see y'all having problems with, like barring any injuries and everything, is just the top 3 teams.
Yeah, but you also Jared Allen, man. He been tweaking off with injuries too. We just got to survive the injury plague, man. If we can get through injuries, I think we can. In my opinion, this is fan bias. We can beat anybody except for maybe Miami. That's the team that I'm scared of the most. Is Miami right now because they hot.
I mean, they're hot, but they're not. There's a team better than them there, and they're playing out of mind right now. They're getting killed. Yeah. And there's Boston. I mean, Boston. We'll talk about Boston here in a minute, but they are a contender, but I don't think it's their year. Even if they get Sexton back and somehow he's healthy, not rusty, you get Jared Allen back, you get Karis LeVert back, you get these dudes back, you're still a year or 2 away, which is good because you got a good core. I like what we have. I love what we have, actually. I was very impressed at how the 3 big men worked out. I literally thought, I was making a joke that, we might as well just start fucking Taco Fall at the point guard at the rate they were going when we started the season. But I mean, like tonight, Garland was 24 points, 10 assists. Good line. He was 4 of 17 shooting. He went 15-16 from free throw. So that means, you're not going to get that every night. The next dude was Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, Rookie of the Year. Ain't no doubt in my mind. He went for 19 and 12 tonight, and he didn't even try. And he's playing the 5. Yeah. And then Markkanen had 15, but that's it. Kevin Love was 4 or 5, didn't get a lot of shots up. I want them to do good stuff, but it's not their year yet. But they are a contender. They can make noise, like Sean says. If they move up, maybe they get a better matchup. But if you play the Sixers, there's no answer for Joel Embiid. You saw. I mean, look at the last game. The game the Cavs played him. He went off for 40. He dropped a triple double. We look like shit. We couldn't even guard with Jared Allen. The worst thing they could do is run into the Sixers. So I think they need to move up to be more confident. But their defense has been lacking. I've watched the last couple games, especially tonight. Bam Adebayo went off on them. Can't have that. But injuries definitely.
Bam was fucking blocking shots left and right.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but you got to get into Bam and body his ass and make sure he doesn't get to do that.
That's what I liked about Jared Allen spacing the floor too.
Yeah.
I mean, coming on the floor too. His presence alone, man. Him at the 5 and Mobley at the 4. Man, that's a fucking Statue of Liberties, right? I hate to say it, the Twin Towers right there. They're good together on the floor, and then when you get Karis LeVert, you can plug in more matchups and play more different lineups. I should say you can play Karis LeVert at the 2, play DG at the 1. Shit, you can even run a Rondo, DG, and Karis LeVert, and then have the Twin Towers out there. I mean, it's just injuries right now that's plaguing the Cavaliers.
And with the Cavs, you can even do almost like a Mobley at the 5 marking in, or Love at the 4 marking at the 3. You have a big man. You have a big man who shoot, and then you can get LeVert out there with GG, and you can just spread the ball. So,
yeah, man, it's just gotta stay healthy, stay consistent. Moving on up to the Boston Celtics. Frankie, I'm gonna let you go on this one.
I think they are severely a contender right now. Tatum just won Player of the Week, I do believe. He is one of the only 2 Celtics ever in history to do that, where they average 40 points in 1 week. The only other guy was some dude named Larry Bird.
Whoever that guy is.
He was kind of good.
Larry Bird waxed Tatum.
Bro, Larry Bird to go. You trash talking the whole time too. I think they're going to be really good. I mean, Tatum's carrying them right now. People are sleeping on them. They're starting to make that push right now, where they're starting to click. I really would be worried to play the Celtics if I was anybody right now, especially with Tatum.
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna move up to. In my opinion, with the games left and it being so close, I can see them moving up to like the number 2 seed, or they can push for number 1. Mm-hmm. But the way I'm doing it based on the way they're playing right now. But man, they're fucking scary, man. Mm-hmm. And their bench is like outscoring teams. It's their bench. And then Tatum is fucking going off.
He dropped 40 tonight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sean?
I totally disagree.
I figured. What else is new?
Straight up pretender, and this is why. Yes, Tatum is a walking bucket. But those close games, when it comes down to the last, 4 minutes of the game, and he's turning the ball over left and right like he has been in past seasons, that's gonna be their Achilles heel again. Like, guy's a walking bucket. I don't understand why at the end of the games he sucked. Well, in my eyes, he sucked. Like, yeah, he hit shots, but you getting all these turnovers, these fouls, you just doing stupid stuff that eventually cost you the game. And it seems like it happens every year in the playoffs.
It do it especially last year. And in the bubble. In the bubble, he was doing shit, but he was turning the ball over left and right.
Y'all don't play that as like somebody being a young player though?
No, because like I don't do it like that because like how good he is offensively. And like even if you do like put like that, like and when Luka had made the playoffs, he wasn't, turning the ball over left and right until he got further on. But in the first couple of rounds, he was doing his thing and everything. It just seems like any close game, like the series don't have to be close, but like any close game in the playoffs, it just feels to me like he chokes or causes something for them to lose the game, regardless of, how good of a shooter he is.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like Tatum offense has evolved more though. Because remember when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs, Tatum came out that year, and we were like, shit, we might lose this kid. And I mean, he wasn't shooting threes like he is now. He wasn't like what he is now. I think he has improved a lot more. You can't base it off last year. From what I'm seeing right now, he's playing great. But like you said, playoffs are different. I mean, it's not you're not going to go in and just be like, oh, I'm going to drop 50 every night. No, it's not what they do. So
like you said, even he was balling and everything. You said young player or whatnot, or like the Cavs were like, oh yeah, we're about to lose to this kid. What the Cavs do? They put that pressure on him late in games, and we won because he ultimately. It's the same story every year. I feel like with them, like he's good. I love him. He's really great, but it's the same thing every year in the playoffs to me. No matter how far they get, that's how they always go out.
I think you gotta remember they put LeBron on him too.
All right, we gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the Chicago Bulls. Sean, I'm gonna let you go first on this one. Chicago Bulls.
I think they are a pretender. They started out season hot, they were, right on the brink to being number one for a good minute. And then everything kind of, fell off to like middle of the pack. I don't see them. Like, I feel like they could get beat in a 7-game series by some of these low-seeded teams. So I don't see them getting far in the playoffs at all. That's why I'm going pretender, because they should do better than where I'm predicting them to fall.
Okay, Sean. Oh, man, Frankie.
I'm gonna go contender because I think they're about to get healthy. They're gonna get Caruso back soon. They were just talking about that. They're gonna get Ball back, and that young kid Williams that they've been running out there. He's been doing good this year. You still got Zach LaVine, and you still got DeMar DeRozan, who's arguably going to be up in talk for MVP if they keep going. So I see them being a contender. I don't disagree with Sean. They could get upset by someone like the Cavs or someone, the Raptors could. If the Raptors play a solid 4-game series and play good defense, they could sneak a win on them. I just the Bulls, I think, are a little more well built, with more all around guys, better ball handlers. So for that case, I think they're a contender for now.
I definitely want to see a Brooklyn Chicago matchup in the first round. That's what I want to see. So hopefully I hope the Chicago like stays the same, and then Brooklyn moves up, because that's going to be a matchup I want to see bad. Maybe the second round if both make it the second round, but that's a matchup I want to see in a series.
I don't think that's a good matchup for the Brooklyn Nets.
No, they don't want to see them. No.
With the healthy Bulls team, and if they run into that's not a good matchup for the Nets.
And the Bulls run, and the Bulls love to run.
And they drive. Every one of their dudes can drive.
Their ball handlers
can drive. DeMar DeRozan kills the mid-range like he always has his whole entire career. Plus, he can get to the rack. Other guy can get to the rack. Like, I don't think that's a good matchup for the Brooklyn Nets.
I think New Jersey would benefit from running into either Philadelphia again. Oh, sorry, Brooklyn. Brooklyn would be better off running into either Philadelphia or the Bucks, because that's more along their style. And the Bucks would probably shoot him out the gym anyways, but Giannis would be roughly about, he would cover your Durant, so you'd have them too. And Middleton would be Harden, and then Simmons is trash. So,
all right, we go number 3 seed.
Right, he quit. He quit. We ain't talk about that, man. He literally quit. Like, he didn't do no crazy stuff to get off the team. Not. He wasn't real good and wanted off the team. He gave up. He did not give his big man no help. He gets no credit. He is irrelevant. What the Philly crowd said to him last night, that's how I feel about him. And I ain't even a Philly fan, a Philly basketball fan.
They told you how they felt about him. So.
We're going to move on up to the Philadelphia 76ers. Frankie, I'm going to let you go first on this one. What do you think? Pretender or contender Philadelphia?
Contender. As long as they have Joel Embiid, they're a contender. And I love Maxey. And I love a lot of the guys that they have on that team. But Tyrese Maxey is going to be a big-time player. And that dude's, I mean, they got Harden. We'll see how that goes. But, I mean, did jack shit the other night. So, but I think they're a contender, and Joel Embiid's about to win MVP. So, calling it right here on the show. Boom. You can shake your head all you want.
I'm only shaking my head because they be hating on him. I feel like even with him getting injured last year, like I love Jokic and I love Embiid. Jokic is more finesse. Embiid is I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna do you this. I'm gonna give you this. That he's more aggressive. So like to me, they're the same. Embiid is more athletic. Rim blocking is better. But I just feel like the NBA does not like him for some reason. I feel like he should have been had an MVP.
It's because he tried to make a run at Rihanna.
I feel like he should have already had one in my eyes.
I don't disagree. But he's leading, as far as I know, still leading the NBA in scoring. So, yeah.
Sean?
They are a contender. And I think they can go far. But what they needed to get them over the hump, they gave away in the Brooklyn trade. I feel like they could have got the Philly. We're talking about Philly, right?
Right. Who? What's the name?
Seth Curry. That's who was gonna get them over the hump. I feel like you could have got the trade done without giving up Seth Curry.
Yeah.
They gave up a lot, but that was the piece that hurt them the worst is when they got rid of Curry.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you why. He ain't coming out the door. Don't worry about that, Sean. I think Maxey kind of replaces the things that Curry could do, and he was a better ball handler. Curry is a good shooter, but I think it was a wash. They got what they wanted.
He's a better ball handler, but you're gonna need the 3-point shooting.
Maxey's got it. He could do all that. He's better than that. Though.
Nah, not like Seth.
I don't know. To me, it was tomato because Maxey is the younger option. Curry, I get what they did. They wanted to guide him off the ball. That's what they wanted. I get why they traded him, but I think
he's the younger option. But I feel like this was gonna happen in the playoffs. Ever since James Harden got to Philly, he has been balling out. Like last night, they lost to Brooklyn. I think that they went 5 of 6 or 4 of 5 before that loss. So they've been balling out. James Harden's been doing his thing like he was in the Rockets. Joel Embiid's been getting his. But one of them are going to get shut down in the playoffs or make it hard on. And then you're going to have somebody out on the wing that's going to have to be able to do something. And I feel like Curry gave you that better option to hit those, wide open threes and big time threes you're going to need. And while Maxey gives you more of a driving option, at least in my eyes, he's still young. He hasn't been, playing a lot in the spotlight or even as a starter.
Yeah, I mean, he's been young, but he has been playing this year, and he's finally got the option to play more. I mean, he cooked the Cavs for 30. I mean, if you look up his stats this year, I think he makes a case for Rookie of the Year. But I think I know what you're saying. Curry's gonna need to play off the ball. They're gonna need a 3-point shooter. I mean, I think they have. I don't have Covington or they have Tybal. I can't remember the other kid, but I mean, I think they have options. I know what you're saying. Curry is a shooter, but I don't know. I think it's not that big of a deal that they lost him.
I think right there you should have went like how the Cavs did with Andrew Wiggins when they made the trade for Love. They went already proven, win now. I feel like that's what you should have did. You should have stayed already proven, win now. We're gonna do the trade, but we're keeping set. Because if something does happen, like let's say something does happen to Maxey, who gonna fill in?
I mean that's fair. Yeah, I mean you're talking about injury though. We're talking
like
about
who's after who comes off the bench for Maxey? Is like Cork Moss or whatnot, or is it the other dude? Like
it's probably gonna be Matthias Thybulle,
it's no Thybulle plays at the same time as him, I believe. It's got to be somebody like Cork Moss or something. So like that's a big drop off from like Maxey to Korkmaz as far as what they could do with the ball. And if you would have kept Seth, I feel like that gives you over the point. Seth has already proven big shooter in playoffs, helped the Mavs out a lot all those times. I mean, they didn't get far, but he's at least capable of hitting big shots and, living in the moment.
That's fair because they don't really got nobody coming off the bench. if you look at it, they played heavy minutes on Maxey, who only had 4 points the other night when they played the Nets. I mean, you got Tobias Harris, which we all forget because he's the invisible man on that team and doesn't show up at all. But he had 16 that night. But I mean, Embiid wasn't having a good night. Embiid had 19 free throws. Like, I mean, Brooklyn handled that ass. There was nobody that scored more than 16 behind Embiid's 27. So, and only 4 of the guys were in double figures. So I get what you're saying because Maxey only had 4 points. Harden only had 11. Harris. So that's a problem right there. You run into good defensive teams. So
Yeah. So the number 2 seed, Milwaukee Bucks. I think they're I think they're contenders.
ooh, don't say that.
I think they're contenders. I think it's pretty easy for this selection. Frankie?
Contender. I mean, they have Giannis. And I mean, that's all that needs to be said. They have Giannis. So as long as you have arguably the dude who can take 5 steps to the hoop from court to court, you're good.
Hey, man, I love Middleton.
I love Middleton too. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect Middleton. But Giannis makes the team go. Come on now.
Yeah. Sean?
They are definitely contenders, and they are who I am picking to win it again. Reason being is I was never a hater of the Bucks. I was just tired of being let down. But Giannis's company after last year in the playoffs, they have finally rose to the occasion. Chris Middleton has finally got my respect. He did not have no inconsistent games. He ain't do no stupid stuff. He played his part, and he was that role. And the role players no longer die. I do think that I actually think they are going to grab the 1 seed, and I do think that they will win it again.
Ooh, okay. Y'all don't want to hear my pick for the Eastern Conference champions.
The Cavaliers are some hot trash.
No,
Throw at us.
I think I'm gonna wait for that show to get my Eastern Conference champion. But
we would have did that show about I don't know, about 6 months ago, right? You know, when we were talking about doing that. Oh, did I roast you? I'm sorry.
The number 1 seed, Miami Heat. I'm iffy with them. I'm very iffy.
Why? I'm gonna ask you why. Go ahead.
I'm iffy because the regular season, it seemed like every year, regular season, they are balling. But then when it comes time to the playoff time and the nitty gritty and the shit start getting serious, they go downhill. And I see Sean is Sean. Go ahead. I see that you're agreeing.
You literally took what I have written down and everything. When they get to the playoffs, they do just like for the past couple of years, they are not the same team that they are in regular season. So I do not get my hopes up. Like they are good. They are really good. But as soon as those playoffs come around, I don't know what be going through them boys. It's like the Monstars came and, just took all their talent.
This man said the Monstars.
I think
it really is though. They be straight up balling during regular season. And then the playoffs come, you're like, what team is this? Who are they?
Yep. Especially, I mean, it was the 1 year, and that was what was that? What was it called?
The bubble.
The bubble where they went to the damn finals. But I mean, 2 weeks? What 2 weeks? Well, how long was it delayed?
It was delayed like 3 or 4 months, pretty much because it was delayed in March. That's when they shut everything down, and then they didn't continue until June, July, because the finals ended around
3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think they capitalized on that with youth. But it just seemed like every goddamn year, man, they get to the playoffs, they looking good, and then they get in the playoffs, and then they look like doodle chump change. But I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say contender. I mean pretender with contender capabilities. That's what I'm gonna say. Sean, what do you say?
I totally agree with that. Pretender, but they do have potential to be a contender.
Frankie?
I'm gonna be honest. I do see them doing the dumb shit that they do the last couple of years. Like they just decide they don't want to show up. Like last year, I think we all picked them to go to the finals again, didn't we? Was it last year or the year before?
What?
Yeah.
But
Oh, what was that, Dre? Did you pick the Warriors too? Oh, okay. Anyways, I mean, I feel like they're improved though. They got Lowry now. They added Oladipo, which he's back and healthy now. I think you should be worried about them. I think they're a contender. Could they bust? Absolutely. Any of the teams in the East. I think the East is so close. Any of the 6-7 teams, I think you really can make a case to maybe make a choice. But I think with the depth they added, they got young talent, they got guys who could shoot. Butler and Tyler Hero is gonna. If Tyler Hero goes back to playoff Tyler Hero like he was a couple years ago, I mean they can make a run. They can make things interesting. They're the number 1 seed.
Run is just are they going fold in the playoffs?
The problem with that playoff Tyler Hero was that defense. It wasn't the scoring. It was that defense.
No.
He was getting obliterated. Everybody was.
I mean, but they didn't. They also had Goran Dragic. They didn't have Kyle Lowry. So I think Lowry definitely is going to make a difference on this team. And Bam looked good tonight, and I think if he's healthy, you're gonna have. I mean, I think they're a contender. I'm obviously I've been saying that 3 or 4 times, but I think you shouldn't sleep on that. I don't think they're going to fold that. I think if they lose, they're going to run into a good team. They're not going to fold. I don't believe that. Not this year, at least.
Well, if it stands on what it is today, let's just say the season ended today. They play Brooklyn. Do you see them winning in Brooklyn in 7?
In Brooklyn in 7? Yes, because I do. I don't see Katie and Kyrie carrying them to beat Miami. Honestly, God, Miami's got too much depth.
I don't see them if that were to happen. I don't see them beating Brooklyn. Reason being is
You're crazy.
Miami. Nope. There's 2 teams you are not supposed to run and gun with. One is the Golden State Warriors. Slow the ball down. And number 2 is the Brooklyn Nets. If you go run and gun, you better hope you make every shot or else you're going to get ran out the gym just like the Sixers did last night. KD is back. He's still the same KD. I think Miami would really lose in that series.
I'm gonna
give it now. I think Brooklyn is gonna win the East. In my opinion, in my heart of hearts, I think Brooklyn is. I think with the addition of Seth on that bench, and I think when they actually start playing together, when Kyrie is able to start playing more, and they regroup as a team, I think that team is gonna win the East. I think that's the best team in the East right now.
How do you even say it's the best team in the East?
Look, it's not crazy. Like it's not super duper out there. I see why you would say that, but I really feel like one of these dudes is gonna get hurt again, and as soon as that happens, they done.
Assuming injuries don't happen. Let's assume injuries don't happen and everybody healthy. Can Brooklyn be one of the top 4 seeds? Do you think they can be the top 4 seeds? No.
I really don't. No.
You said can they beat one of the top 4 seeds?
Top 4 seeds in the East by the season's end if everybody's healthy and everybody's allowed to play.
Can they be like you mean? Can they take over one of the top 4 seeds? Is that what you're saying? Or beat them?
No, they can't.
No, you're out of your mind.
That would be super hard to do. I mean, they're 8 right now. I don't know how many games they are back from like 4.
I got you.
But
they are 6.5 back, and the Bulls are the 4 seed.
Okay, they're 6.5 back. New York mask mandate has not been lifted yet, so that means Kyrie, as of now, is still only in away games. But even when he does come back, is his stamina there? I mean, he's balling out, but is his stamina there to play all games since you've only been playing road games? And then even if it is, let's say they do make a good push, you're still going to have to keep that push going into the playoffs, and it's one of the dudes are going to end up getting hurt. Like, that's how I see it.
All right, if the season ended today, last thing, if the season ended today, give me your MVP. Frankie?
Joel Embiid by a landslide.
Okay. Sean?
He's going to go with Curry. I already see it on his face because he knows they're going to disrespect the man.
No. I want Joel.
Of course.
I love Joel. I feel like he deserves one. But just was like something that nobody has ever seen before yet Like, I, even though his team sucked, LeBron.
Oh,
He's been putting up numbers. I'll go with that because it's basically stat numbers.
No 37-year-old man should be playing like that. And no 37-year-old man has played like that. The type of season that he's put on this year. Just of his age. Yes, we know he's a freak of nature and he takes care of his body, but it's just unprecedented things. And I believe right now he is third in NBA scoring.
Oh yeah, yep. Hey man, you got a case there. I ain't even gonna lie, I didn't even think about it till now. But you know,
Joel Embiid does deserve one. So, like, if he does win it over my guy Braun, I will not be mad. I'm just saying it does deserve consideration.
my MVP, Stephen Curry.
Weird. You got to eventually get it right. I've been guessing for the last 2 years. So, Jared, to your point, you really think the Nets are one of the best teams in basketball right now?
No, I didn't mean that. I'm talking about by the year's end.
Yeah, that's something. Like right now, the team that they're built, right?
The team, if they're healthy and everybody's able to play. Like if they lift the mass, man, and Kyrie can actually get a consistent play, then yes, I do think that.
So when they beat Philly the other night, who were the top scorers on their team? Off the top of your head, who do you think? I mean, obviously you know two of them. Who was the third one? Steph Curry was the third one, just so you know. But to do that, the man had 24 points. So you mean to tell me that I know how much you guys have this love affair for Steph Curry. He's gonna put up 24 points the rest of the way and be that third scorer?
No, I don't think he'll be the third scorer.
Your third scorer is supposed to be a guy who doesn't take wide open driving lanes. That's who your third scorer is supposed to be.
A guy who won't take a wide open three if you stand there in a gym by himself.
But shoots him on Instagram. Like that's what I mean by he quit. He gave up.
Yeah. I like Brooklyn. I like Durant. I like Kyrie. I do think them dudes could do what LeBron did, what they did with LeBron in the finals when they dropped 41 apiece. They could do that. I don't see them being a problem. Like, I mean, if they show up in big games, sure, it's one game. You got to play 7. I don't know. I'm not sold on Brooklyn. I'm sold on them having talent. I'm not sold on them winning a 7-game series against one of the better teams in the East.
But Miami, they like to play fast. That's why I had them like that. Like, if you're gonna play fast, the Kyrie and KD, like you said, you feel like they could do what Braun and Kyrie did in the playoffs.
Right.
I feel like they could do way better than that. KD is a better scorer. LeBron is the better, like all-around guy. KD's gonna give it to you bucket after bucket. The problem with the number 1 seed is Miami likes to play the same style. And if your shots ain't going in, Brooklyn's is going to go in. Only thing they got to do is just play defense. That's it.
I don't disagree that the matchup is favorable, but I just don't see, because the Heat, I think of more options. I think they're going to be able to lock down somebody or at least make someone's night a little bit trouble. Bam can maybe guard somebody. I don't know. I don't see them beating Miami in a 7-game series.
I don't see Kyle Lowry stopping Kyrie.
I don't see that either. I mean, we've already know Kyrie cooked him before. If you don't remember our finals run when he was on Toronto.
I mean, even if he does cook him, like if Kyrie just goes like, I'm gonna, be second to KD, and I am also going to pass to these other guys that are balling, and the 3-point depth that we have added, then Brooklyn is going to be a scary team.
Kyrie had,
but if he's going to be the kind of what?
Kyrie had 5 assists the other night.
That's what I'm saying. I want more from him. I want more assists. Move the ball more. We know you're a U player. We know you're good.
Dragic led the team in assists with 7. Him and KD tied.
Mm-hmm. And if you let KD get you an assist, I mean, you were a point guard at one point for most of your whole entire basketball career until you got to the Nets. Then you started, playing off ball and 2-guard. Like his passing is basically what's going to put them over the hump is what I'm trying to get at. He's got to move the ball around and not go back to like just me.
I don't know. It would take a serious effort to me for them to dominate like Miami, or even like, let's say do you think it's just Miami? So if they went up against Milwaukee, do you think they'd be Milwaukee?
If they go up against Milwaukee, that's a buzzsaw. I think that's a buzzsaw.
You think it's 4-0 sweep, 4-1? What?
I think that's 4-0 sweep. And I
I
think
don't think it's
KD, I think
4-0 sweep.
I think KD
I think it's
and
4-2.
Kyrie ball. I think KD and Kyrie ball every single game, and it's a sweep. I got that much faith in Milwaukee. They're supporting cast in the defense that they play, and they can play both style of ball. If you want to run and gun, they can run and gun. If you want to go slow and grit and grind game, they could do a grit and grind game. I think it would be a 4-0 sweep on Milwaukee. Milwaukee would get them. And KD and Kyrie are going to ball every game.
I
They're
think
going to have
it'll be like
ridiculous stats and take 4 losses.
But yeah, that's the end of the show. Thank you for watching. We gonna come back next week with some news. We get that free agency news, the signings, talk more NBA, maybe talk some MLB next time if Frankie want to. You know, MLB just